What's up, comic book fans and all you horny college students? It's time to talk about Gen V. So get naked, show us a lot of dicks, and here are me and Brian, two middle-aged men, about to talk about this show about college kids on Comic Books Transformed.
Yes,
Brian,
which feels like a lifetime ago for us from in college.
yes, but we knew each other just post-college.
um, was it post? No, I think we were still during college.
Oh yeah, because I went to your graduation party. That's
Yeah.
kind of a famous party. Yeah. All right, well, good. We knew each other in college, but we weren't doing the things that were in the show for the most part.
I was not. I was definitely not.
Yes, mainly because we didn't have superpowers.
No.
Yes. So, Brian, before we talk about Gen V season 2, episodes 1 through 4, can you give me kind of like a overall feeling of like how do you feel about this show? Do you like this show? Is it one of your favorite shows?
I do like this show a lot. I think I still am kind of carried by. I'm surprised by how good it is, being a spinoff and all that. Um, I also just appreciate that it's kind of like the riff on the X-Men in from the Boys universe, although it's very different from the actual content where they use these characters from the Boys. It's completely its own story outside of the setting, and I like that idea of it's sort of like watching a mutant show, you know?
Yeah. I I like this show and I think that it's well made, but I also don't like watching it too. And
Okay.
I kind of feel the way about the boys as well because it's so like this is the world that you live in, and this is how fucked up the world you live in. We're just putting on a coat of paint that makes it have to do with superheroes, but like the world that you live in is really ridiculous and bad. And so like watching it just kind of makes me feel dirty and depressed.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I mean, I think that that's a theme in a lot of the shows we watch these days, where it's a kind of we're anti-tyranny in a sense. And I think it's just unfortunate that it's a little bit too much like real life. And I think had that not been the case, had it been, let's say we were watching this in the '90s, and we were of age to watch it then. I think it would be different. We would be this like insane alternate reality sort of thing, that you couldn't even, think of. Um,
Yeah, it would be kind of like watching RoboCop, where RoboCop felt so over the top when it first
yes.
came out. And now real life is kind of like RoboCop now.
Yeah. So real life is really like RoboCop, and then to make it seem over the top, they have to have super gory, brutal deaths and tons of dicks.
Yes. And then even a shot of like under a man's like ass and crotch where you can see that space between your
Yeah,
asshole and your balls.
yeah. That was the exact scene though that I messaged him like, why? And
Yes.
I mean, we've seen other things like this in the show, and I also get the idea. It's kind of like that, like kind of like to shock you in the opposite direction of the typical, appealing to the male gaze sort of thing, and have scantily clad women. It's just going the other way, and just being absolutely brutal with how much they're showing you.
Yes. I mean, yeah, there's that one part where, like, okay, so I want to just give a disclaimer for all of our viewers. Guys, I'm not going to remember any of the fucking characters' names, any of, like, the actors' names at all. I'm going to be horrible this episode. I apologize. Hopefully, Brian knows some of them. But I know Marie, I know Andre, because they say Andre's name like 85 times in both episodes. And then I know that there's the girl that shrinks, and there's Cypher. And what's the one that can change from a man to a woman?
Jordan.
Jordan. Okay. Like I can remember all their names, but then that's pretty much it. And so there's gonna be a lot of me saying like, oh, that one, the one that does that. Um, but wait, there's a point I was gonna make about. Oh yeah. So the guy that was like the brother with the mental illness, and like he is like really strong. He has a
Sam.
couple different. What's his name?
Sam.
Sam. Okay. When him and Jordan are fighting and they crash through the wall, and there's just this like naked man kneeling on the ground, and then another man's head comes out
Oh
of his
yeah.
Yeah.
Again, that's kind of shock value there, the opposite direction. Yeah, I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, yeah. It's just like so fucking ridiculous and upsetting. I mean, okay, I'm probably gonna just jump around a lot because we're covering 4 episodes of the show, and I'm just gonna kind of talk about the stuff that I'm the most interested and excited in about. But don't you kind of feel like the girl that works in the cafe, the one that keeps having to take down those resist posters, don't you feel like something really horrible is gonna happen to her?
Oh yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the big plot points of this season is kind of almost like E for Extinction in a way. It's mutant supremacy. They look down upon humans. That they have to prepare for them to come and attack them, but they're superior and all this stuff. So yeah, I definitely think that any human character in this that has any kind of screen presence is going to have something horrible happen to them.
Yeah. And I mean, I like that whole direction. I'm really glad you brought that up because there was a major shift with the last season of The Boys where like Homelander is essentially in charge of the country now. I know he's not the president, but he might as well be. And like, there's definitely this kind of vibe of like, Soups. They're doing this thing, which is very like, they're obviously making a commentary on like the Republicans and stuff where like the Republicans are in power right now. Like they're the most powerful group out there, but they're at the same time like saying that they're the victims. And that's what's her name? Is her name Firecracker? Is the
Fire? Yes.
Yeah, like Firecracker says multiple times in a couple of these episodes how like the Soups are the most persecuted group in all of human history. Like she keeps talking about that, and it just feels so much like real life. But it's just so funny. Yeah. So I mean, it's just like watching stuff like that just bothers me. Even though it's a funny show, it's a well written show. I like a lot of the characters. It's like too much every time. Like
Yeah,
and I watched like
it's just an unfortunate timing, really, is what it is.
Yeah. Well, you say that it's unfortunate timing, but I kind of feel like this show and The Boys maybe wouldn't even really exist if the world wasn't like this. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe. I mean, I mean, a lot of what they do in the show is from the comic. I mean, the comic predates all of this crap. I mean, not fully everything, but it's from the middle 2000s, I believe. So
yeah.
I mean, it had longevity. It probably finished before the show even came out too. So
yeah.
So I think a lot of the subject matter would have been the same. And maybe they definitely took some inspiration from real life. I mean, they had to have. But I'm sticking with it. It's an unfortunate thing that it's like it's mirroring real life a little too much.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know that there were a lot of people on the right side that were like, "Oh, The Boys has gotten woke. It's so woke," but it's like it's always been like this, where it's always like a commentary on the real world, and it makes fun of both sides of the political spectrum too.
Yeah.
I mean, I think maybe the right side commentary stuff kind of just sticks out more because it's like so in our face these days. And it's just kind of an unpleasant place to be. Like being at that campus and just seeing the way that they treat humans. Like I started off talking about this girl that works in the cafe because they're like really fucking awful to her. Like there's the guy with like the X-ray vision that takes his time like scanning her when she comes in. She said that like she gets multiple threats for all different types of things that I don't want to say on YouTube because it'll make us have even less views if I say them. But like it's just like this horrible kind of show, but it's like this is sort of what America is like right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. Why don't we kind of talk about the characters and what's been going on with each of the characters, the main characters this season? Who's standing out for you?
Wait, what?
Which character is like the character you're the most interested in right now? Like,
oh man, I don't know if I can pick a single one for that. The one thing I do want to preface before we get into individual characters is the general setup of the season, because obviously the show was delayed. Season 2 was delayed because of the death of Chance Perdomo, who played, oh my god, I can't remember his character's name, Andre, because they said
Andre. Yeah.
And I am curious as to what it would have been, how it would have been different if he hadn't had that tragic, I think it was a motorcycle accident.
I think you're right. Yeah.
But I do like how they incorporated that, and I think they said a lot of nice things about him as a character, which translates probably to him as a person in there. The opening of the show, it said "for chance" too, which was a nice touch. Other than that, it seems I felt that the beginning of the show was a little jarring. Like I wasn't expecting it because the first season ended with the good guys kind of like locked up in like a rubber room with straitjackets
Right.
on, while Kate and Sam were like the heroes, and they were getting praise everywhere. But we essentially come out the gate and they're being released from prison at the behest of Kate in a way. She like lobbied
Right.
for them to get released. We find out that Marie escaped and that Jordan and Emma are just going back to school. And then everyone's looking for Marie, and eventually she just still ends up back at school.
Right.
So
Right.
it was a little jarring to see that the setting was exactly the same. I think
Right.
it makes sense because that's the premise of that's the premise of the show is it's superheroes in college, and how do you
Right.
do superheroes in college without the college campus life? But it was almost jarring to see that just to go back to reset back to status quo almost,
Yeah, the backpedaling. And honestly, like it kind of doesn't make sense in the logic of the world. Homelander is like so temperamental. I understand that he's always worried about the political spin of things, but I feel like characters that would openly rebel against him, he wouldn't want them to be back at the campus, And I guess there's some kind of big plan, and I know that Cypher has a plan for Marie, so that explains why she's going back to the campus. But I'm not really sure why it would make logical sense to bring back the other characters that rebel.
Yeah, maybe they're just not as consequential. Maybe they need, I don't know. Maybe they just needed to write a reason for them to be back.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm like making excuses for the show, I'd say maybe they wanted them to be back so that like Marie would come back, because obviously, like one of the main focuses of the first 4 episodes is that Marie is she's part of this Project Odessa, which is supposed to be like the creation of this like ultimate soup. And not like a soup in a restaurant, ultimate soup, like a superhero. And like Cypher obviously is involved in that program, so like she is established and she's important. I think the other characters maybe are just there to like entice her to come back.
Yeah.
And you were saying, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's I was just agreeing with you, really.
Yeah. Well, you were saying though that you like Marie a lot better this season too, right?
Yeah, I felt her motivations were kind of mixed, especially early on that first season, and
Yeah.
I find the character to be a lot more likable this season.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess it's like she's willing to kind of play ball. I guess that she didn't like living on her own and just sort of having to hide and stuff, and now she has a home and she wants answers, so she's kind of willing to play ball and go along with all the bullshit. Whereas in the first season, she was like just battling against everything. Like she didn't want to be a part of it at all in the first season.
Yeah, I mean,
And
her ultimate goal was to find her sister, and she, in a way, does. But it's more about that her sister doesn't want anything to do with her, or her sister's guardian doesn't want anything to do with her. It's not 100% clear which way that is, but that's where she started off the season. She broke out and she was still looking for her sister, and then it kind of led into this whole Project Odessa thing. That coincidentally, Starlight, who had a cameo in the first or second episode, also told her to go back and investigate. And it just turns out that she happens to be the main subject of Project Odessa.
Right. So, I mean, her power could be very, like, she could beat Homelander or defeat Homelander if she's able to control blood. Like, if she could make him burst and stuff, that would be this ultimate power. And I guess the idea is that maybe she could, like, control multiple people by controlling their blood. She does, like, Cypher has all these different training sessions with her, and one session involves lifting packets of blood off a table versus her like using her own blood, which she's been using in the first season and the beginning of this season. And then she goes to lift up a sheep, right? Or is it a goat or a sheep? I can't remember.
It was a goat. A goat named Elon, and they said they
Oh yeah,
named him after assholes, so you wouldn't care.
Right.
Bring in the next after they kills the goat, they say bring in Julia Fox.
Yeah, and see, I don't even know who that is.
She's the Uncut Gems girl.
Oh, the really hot chick from Uncut Gems?
Was she in the movie or she? Yes, that's her.
Like Adam Sandler's mistress?
She's like a. I'm sorry.
Adam Sandler's mistress in Uncut Gems?
Yeah, I believe that's her. Yeah, she's like a socialite in like real life. So, I guess she's insufferable. I didn't see that movie and I don't know much about her, but I remember that name, and I know that meme of her saying Uncut Gems. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, man, in that movie, she's something else. But I don't know. I guess we're not allowed to talk about that kind of stuff anymore. But like, the Cypher thing is interesting too. The actor that plays Cypher, I don't fucking remember his name. He's from Midnight Mass. What's that?
He is from Midnight Mass.
Yeah, he's the priest.
But
yeah, he's the priest, and he's amazing in Midnight Mass. He's also he was the voice.
Wait a minute, isn't this Cape Crusader Batman?
That's what I was just about to say, Brian. Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah. His name's like Hermitage Linklater or something like that, right?
Hamish Linklater.
Yeah. There you go. I like him as an actor. I think he was like a little over the top as Cypher in the first few episodes, but then when Kate starts to have this idea that he is not a suit, and then he kind of like proves her wrong, I was really digging that scene.
No, I've liked him the entire time here. I think he is. I guess it is a little over the top, but I think it's perfectly fitting for this show. I think he was intriguing the entire time to me, and just what his whole deal and plan is still. I'm still interested in. I mean, we have a little bit more idea of what it is. It seems like he has the ability to control other soups, and there is something about Marie's powers that he wants in some capacity. I'm kind of wondering, like, if the point of it is to kill Homelander, I mean, are Marie's powers similar enough to Victoria Newman's power, where she would explode heads? I mean, was she just exploding blood in some capacity? Is Marie like the Weapon X of this program, so to speak, of
maybe
explosions, and that she's maybe powerful enough to actually blow up Homelander's head, because Victoria Newman, I believe, couldn't.
Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting. I mean, do you think that when the Boys finale happens, which the next season is the last season, right?
Yes.
Do you think that we're gonna see Marie be a member of that cast, and then she might actually go up against Homelander in the last season?
That would be very interesting. Yeah, it would be. I mean, could they continue the show after the Boys ends, and we're in a world where we expect Homelander to die? I mean, that's what everybody's expecting out of season 5, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't be a satisfying ending if he lived somehow, right?
I agree. Yes. Yeah.
So I don't see how this show goes on necessarily. And I know they have the other spinoff too. They have the prequel series about what is it, Payback? Like the Avengers parody team.
Sure. That's gonna have Soldier Boy on it?
Yeah, Soldier Boy and Stormfront.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. She'll be back. That's cool. I mean, she's a Nazi too, but
Yeah.
I mean, I'm down for that. I don't think that you could have the show after The Boys, because I'm thinking The Boys is gonna have this like crazy ending that's really gonna like set the status quo for Soups by the end of it. I know that what happens in the comics, so I think that you probably couldn't have a spin-off show, or you couldn't have Gen V keep going after what happens in the comics, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure how they would continue it, but at the same time, it seems like it's a big enough hit for Amazon, and I wouldn't see why they would want to lose it.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll see. And so like, just bringing it back to Cypher, to me, I feel like the Soup character is probably the guy that's in the tube, and the Cypher that we see at the school and stuff is probably just like a human that he's controlling, and that's why she couldn't see the V in his blood, right?
Oh, because he said it was his dad, but that's probably right.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And then him using his power was probably why he was using his power through the body of a human, which would kind of been drained out kind of fast and couldn't do it for that long. That's a really good theory.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I'm sure it has something to do with that. But we should talk about other aspects of the show too. I mean, Cypher is really
the other big thing that I was thinking about who's in that thing is that there was a cold open in one of the earlier episodes where a bunch of scientists were present, and some guy runs in like, "No, don't inject yourself with the V." And it seems like that one guy survived. I was wondering if that was him, maybe
the Godolkin guy.
And yeah, I guess that is Thomas Godolkin. So maybe Thomas Godolkin got powers and he's controlling this Cypher. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
There you go, man. Free fantasy booking for you right there. Take care. Yeah. So, I mean, one of the more endearing characters is the girl that can shrink and get big. What the fuck's her name?
Emma Little Cricket. Whatever your poison is there.
All right, Emma Little Cricket. And what I really liked about this show was that you brought in Andre's dad, and then he's become like a supporting character. And I really like the dynamic between Emma and Andre's dad.
Yes, I do. Yeah, I think it was a good plot point to follow up with. It makes sense that with the death of his son, his father would want to get some answers, and he makes a great ally in that sense there. I have like the scenes with them. And even the scenes with the tension with Emma and Sam, because they were a thing in season 1 and they're not anymore. But it seems like both those characters, both Sam and Polarity, were not in the last episode 4 at least. I know there's as we're speaking here, episode 5 is also out, but we didn't get to that yet. So we'll cover that next week along with episode 6.
Oh man, there's like so much stuff like coming out right now. If it was like all spaced out, we could just nail everything every week. But it's like there's like Gen V, there's the Marvel Zombies thing, Peacemaker's still going on. There's so much going on right now.
Yeah, and then after that, nothing.
Right. Nothing for like months. Yeah, we'll see. But there's so much going on too. Like with Sam, they show that like he's basically been like allowing himself to be brainwashed. And so he's not necessarily this horrible, cold killer. He's like a troubled person. And Kate's been able to keep him in line. And I did like watching him sort of struggle when she wasn't available to like make him feel better. I liked that whole part.
Yeah, and the return of the puppets as well, which was nice.
Yeah, exactly. And then I actually like Jordan a lot better this season than in previous season. I felt like Jordan was almost a little bit like a villain in the last season too.
Well, yeah, all the characters presented themselves as villains essentially, with the exception of Marie and Emma, and then they kind of joined together in a way. And I think what really solidified it was that relationship between Marie and Jordan. That's the kind of like the gel between the two groups and kind of brought them together, and then made them all the heroes rather than sort of like the campus popular kids that are sort of bullies versus the outcasts. And now everyone's kind of on the same side for the most part again, even though, Kate and Sam were kind of bad at the end of season 1. Kate's sort of on the in again, I suppose, because she's helping them out. And especially after Jordan almost killed her. It's been interesting to see that dynamic play out there of like, they're sort of enemies, but they kind of need each other.
Yeah. Well, did you think that Jordan actually did kill Kate at the end of the second episode? Or maybe it was the first episode. No, the second episode, right?
Yeah, I think it was the second. I did, and I would be very surprised that they would kill off somebody. So I was surprised that they would go that far, but I was also surprised that she survived. I'm glad. I like that actress too. I like that character, so I'm glad we didn't lose another cast member here just due to the story plot point. Although I'm not ruling out that somebody else is going to die by the end of the season. Like the second Marie and Jordan said, "I love you," or I'm like, oh, Jordan's dead. Jordan's 100% dead.
Yeah. Well, I thought that Jordan might actually have died in the 4th episode too, because there's that part where Marie's holding her up in the air with her power. I thought she was gonna like lose control and she was gonna burst, you know?
Yeah, because Cypher was also controlling her at the same time. It did seem like that was going that way. It doesn't seem like it's happened yet. So maybe they faked this out twice now. I don't know, but I'm not ruling it out.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the show is so over the top. I think we should probably just address some of the truly ridiculous things that happens. There's this little side group, which I actually really like this as well. I like that Emma has formed her own little group of friends, and they're these kind of like misfit characters. One of them actually has a really cool power. The girl at the tail, which Emma just sort of assumed, I think us members of the audience assumed too, was that she just had a tail. That was her power. But then it turns out she's a chameleon, and then she can like access people's powers, you know, by touching them, kind of like Rogue, right? But I like that she's in a group with her, and then there's this other girl, and the other girl's like, I can control my hair, and you kind of assume that she's going to be like Medusa from Marvel Comics, but then she's like, not the hair on my head. Yeah, yeah. And then she came up with the name Bushmaster for her code name.
No, honestly, as funny that name is, that scene was actually, I loved seeing the inspiration she got. Like, so they say, Emma says, like, I came up with the perfect name for you, Bushmaster. Just the light in that actress's eyes was so good.
Right. She's like, fuck yeah. That was awesome. And then they show her using her bush to, like, you know, turn off the water in their arena or whatever at one point. But I like that, like, that little misfit group. But that's yet another over the top scene where it's like there's a girl using her pubic hair as powers. Then what the hell else? There was one other thing that was like so like ridiculous and over the top too. We talked about the guy sticking his head out of the other guy's ass.
Yeah,
pubic thing. There was something else that was like power related that was ridiculous too. Well, there's the guy that had like he would like suck the alcohol up into his ass.
Oh yeah, the party, yeah, the frat party, yeah.
Yeah, and then Jordan punches him.
Or is that just him doing that?
I don't know. But then like Jordan punches him and then he shoots alcohol out of his ass.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. And the girl's like, "Do I have pink eye now?" Yeah. No. There was something else that was like so over the top and ridiculous too. I just can't fucking remember now. I mean, the show's just filled with it. I don't know, but like with the dynamic with you know, Emma and Polarity, like I like that they go on this little mission to find out what Odessa is, and they have to go talk to that soup that can remember things. He has his own show. He's the rememberer or whatever.
Yeah.
That was a real funny sequence where she kind of charms him, and then she like gets really big. So I mean, she's basically high. Yeah, she's super high. Yeah. I mean, it's really great stuff. It's like funny because she's high, but then it's also like she's high because her life is absolutely miserable. You know?
Yeah, and it's a nice commentary on her, the way her powers work. There, so she used to have to throw up to shrink. And then she eventually learned to kind of simulate that by self-loathing from that acting class. And now it seems like she's inspired and she can do it on command now. So it's been a nice little journey there with that.
Yeah. And I mean, I was really disturbed by that scene with the woman that had the kind of the butterfly wings that was talking to her, because she was talking about her being an influencer. And I know that like the idea of influencer culture is a big thing on this show, where they're always like posting stuff on like TikTok or Instagram or whatever. And I just really did not like that woman with the butterfly wings.
No. I also saw they creeped out by the lady with the bee stinger.
Oh, yes, the lady with the bee stinger. That's another thing, too. She's 100% going to sting someone and kill them and then die herself.
Yes, it's gonna be played for a laugh. Absolutely, yes.
Right. What do you call it? I know that you said you got a hard cutoff at 6. So was there anything else you wanted to add to this discussion?
Nothing else. Happy watching the show. We'll be back next week with 2 episodes.
Boom. That's right. Yeah, we're still covering Peacemaker too, guys. If you want to see an even shorter review, you can go check out our Peacemaker episodes 5 and 6 that just dropped like probably yesterday. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Give us some suggestions on what to cover once the Gen V, Peacemaker, and Marvel Zombies is done, because we need some stuff to cover too. But thank you for watching. You guys are awesome. We'll sting y'all.